The elements of design in a play production serve many important goals. First, when used effectively, they allow the production to put the main art object of theater, dramatic action, into its proper context or background. Proper use of the elements of design can also convey mood and emotional content to the audience on both a conscious and subconscious level. We've looked at how the elements of line, mass, texture, and ornament can achieve these goals. Now, we will look at the element that many believe to be the most powerful of the elements. That is the element of color. Most designers spend their entire career perfecting their ability to select the proper color selection and placement to achieve the desired effect. From what colors you choose to wear, to the colors you decide on for a car you buy or the room you paint. Most people define themselves by the colors they choose. Color also has a strong emotional impact on people on a universal level. We tend to associate certain colors with certain qualities. For instance, a woman enters the room in a white dress, and we tend to associate her with purity and innocence. If she were to enter the room in the same exact cut of dress, but the color was red instead of white, we would probably have an entirely different impression of the person, simply because of the color she was wearing. This, of course, is an oversimplification of color's effect, but it does point up color's powerful ability to create moods or impressions. To understand color's impact, we need to turn to the typical arrangement of the color pattern as arranged by most designers. It is no more elemental than the color wheel. Where things get complicated is that there are many different color wheels for different applications. There is the pigment color wheel that is applied by painters, and the light color wheel that applies to a lighting designer's palette. We'll take a closer look at the light color wheel when we discuss the art of stage lighting. The pigment color wheel, which is used in reference to the reflection of color off a surface, arranges colors into primary colors, secondary colors, and tertiary colors. The artist first considers how to use the primary colors. Those are yellow, red, and blue. We can see that the primary colors are evenly distributed from one another on the color wheel. These are the purest hue colors because they are not derived through mixing of any other colors. In fact, the theory of color suggests that all other colors and range of colors may be achieved by mixing of these primary colors. The uses of these colors can often be very dramatic. The secondary colors are so called because they are achieved through mixing of two primary colors. The secondary hue colors are orange, green, and violet. You may recall the mnemonic device that we were given in grade school to help us remember the arrangement of the color wheel. Our intrepid friend, Roy G. Bibb. If we look at the color wheel, we find that the secondary colors are located between the two primary colors whose mixture creates the corresponding secondary color. The secondary colors may be effectively used with primary colors to create dramatic or pleasing coordinations or contrast. The secondary colors also have a power in their own right. In order to allow the widest variety, the designers will also consider the tertiary colors, or those colors on the color wheel that are derived from the mixture of a primary and secondary color at differing degrees. The effect colors have on the audience can also be considered by virtue of their use on the stage in relation to their location on the color wheel. For instance, colors that are directly across from each other are referred to as complementary colors. When complementary colors are used on the stage, they tend to set up conflict. For instance, if you were to put the Montague family in blue costumes, it would follow that you would want to put the Capulets in blue's complementary color, orange. This will allow the audience to separate the characters into opposing camp. The use of complementary colors will also underscore the sense of conflict between the families. Using colors that are next to each other, or analogous colors, will create a sense of unity. An example of this would be that even if the Capulets and Montagues are in complementary colors, we could put Romeo and Juliet in analogous colors, but keeping them in the proper family section of the color wheel. For instance, we may put Romeo in a green costume and Juliet in yellow wardrobe. This will put them into an analogous relationship on the color wheel while allowing the audience to associate them with their proper family. We may also cut the color wheel in half and consider one side as the warm colors and the others as cool colors. Depending on the saturation of color, cool colors can create either a sense of remoteness or liveliness. Warm colors may create a sense of security or passion. Which they tend to convey depends on their relationship to black or white. How much black or white is introduced into a color determines the shade or tint of the color, respectively. The use of the element of color introduces an exciting but hardly simple consideration to the visual design. Some of the world's greatest minds have attempted to achieve a theory of color that explains its creation and effect. However, no theory is definitive. As a designer, the selection and mixture of color is truly an art in and of itself. Well, that concludes our discussion of production design and the elements of visual design. Go to your task for this unit. Once completed, you will then be ready to move on to the next unit. See you then.